Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ZLB podcast. Today, we are talking about many of things, but we also would like to discuss how Australia, the home of the world's most deadly snakes and spiders and other wildlife, and thanks to someone in particular from Western Australia who managed to lose a radioactive pill off the back of a truck, how you just dropped radioactive material off the back of the truck, I'll never know. But this potentially is causing some radioactive animals, which then gives us the origin story for an Australian Spider-Man. Or maybe a radioactive kangaroo, or worse, radioactive snakes. Man, either way, it's the universe either trying to create the ultimate Aussie nightmare or superhero. But regardless, I don't think Australia could handle another emu war if the emus were radioactive.
You'll definitely come across a lot of creeps.
Where have all these cancelable opinions?
You guys keep boots at 60 feet.
That was a picture of my boots.
That's it, that's the title of the podcast. They're rock hard.
That's great advice.
Welcome on in, everybody. Today we are joined again by Shelby. That's
Hello.
the blonde-looking Shelby.
Yeah, that's me.
Tame is also here.
Yo, what's up?
And that shady character in the corner that looks like he's going to sell you a watch is Vince.
Yeah, mate. 50.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the podcast. It's been a very weird week in news in general, but I can't go past the guy who dropped radioactive material off the back of his truck, literally.
What a guy.
Smaller than a 10-cent piece, but enough to really fuck someone up if they picked it up.
I saw somebody on the 3D printing subreddit of all places was just like, in Australia, they dropped a little radioactive container off a truck. Here's what it would look like. I printed out a life-size thing, and it really put it into perspective. It's fucking tiny.
So
It's so small.
there's been a few takes. My favorite is the radioactive animals can now go. So you go there and you get bitten by anything in WA. You could be Spiderman. A lot of people theorizing this is where Koala Man might have come from. But then there's the other take. Obviously Godzilla. It's just a radioactive snake that start taking over the world, and
That was my meme.
yeah, except it's flipped because you're flipped, mate.
It says The Simpsons opening Australia.
Yeah, literally that. How else did they lose it? The other one was I saw the next Fallout game PR stunt gone wrong. It's gonna be set in Australia. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's not. It's like they use it in mining apparently, but it was straight up. It was in the back of a truck. Truck went 900 kilometers in one direction, got to the other end, and like it's gone now. So,
It was in the back. That's what he
being
said.
near
It was in
like-
the back.
Yeah, it was. Being near it is like getting x-rayed 10 times in an hour.
yeah,
So
yeah, literally that. But that's just being near it. Picking it up, they're just like straight up, like you would just get cancer. Pick it up straight away. So nasty business. But like I said, radioactive animals. It could go the way of the Simpsons with a three-eyed fish, but
Yeah.
it's such a weird time that we live in. It was like someone on TikTok that informed me of the news, and I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about? And then I went and looked it up on like on the proper news websites and stuff like that, and I was talking about it. I'm like, huh. Yeah, okay. This is the pipeline
That's
now.
normal.
not a meme. It's real. It's a thing.
It seemed like a meme though.
It does. It does.
It's hectic.
It was hectic. Speaking of hectic, Vince, do you want to show us what you showed us just as we were getting warmed up for the podcast? I didn't know this was a thing, but that is Crocs with headlights on them.
Yep, SOS only.
Apparently,
Right there.
you can get what do they call them? What they call them, Shelby?
Gibbets.
Gibbets or
I'm
giblets?
surprised you didn't know what gibbets are.
Charms.
Yeah, they're croc charms.
I've never worn Crocs or
So
supported
anything
Crocs in
that-
any way until right now when I found out you can get headlights on.
So
Yeah.
anything that
EBay
fits
full
in a Crocs
packets.
hole is a gibbets.
God, their marketing is so bad, but it works, obviously. Who the hell calls it
Yes,
gibbets?
Yeah. Yeah, Crocs. Who names it Crocs?
The only cool thing I've ever seen from Crocs is, what does they call it? Sports mode, speed mode? And you put
Yeah,
the-
that's what he's got. That's what he's got. You can flip
Yeah, I'm
that
locking
little
right
top
now.
bit back and it's sports mode.
Sports mode.
Mm.
Start
Locking,
running,
bro.
boy.
running away from the cops in the red shoes because they're not catching me in
Quickly
this.
turns off the headlights so you're invisible.
I put the left one on, I turn right. Fucking
That's literally the
Couple
joke I was
different
about to make. He puts
yeah,
the,
bitch to
puts
it.
the opposite
Beat you
indicator
to
on.
it, buddy.
Oh, fuck.
Beat
All
you.
right.
Go to the car shows with your LED lights.
Yeah, well, what we discovered is that lots of people make Jibbitz or whatever the hell the fuck they're called.
You can get aftermarket Jibbitz on Etsy.
Yeah, there's a whole market of 3D printing Jibbitz for your Crocs.
Yep.
Oh, that's got to be a sad life.
Well, I feel
Someone's
inspired.
making money.
I want to go and buy one of the platform pairs of Crocs because I've always wanted them. so-
Platform pairs of Crocs.
Yeah, I want to be tall and also have Crocs on my feet, so it's extra weird.
Isn't Crocs just meant to be like sandals? Like, isn't that the market?
Pretty much,
When did
pretty much.
When do you go out? When did it become like platform RGB headlights?
Oh, years ago. Yeah, I remember there was like a special
honest-
edition Croc / design. I can't remember who the designer was, and they were platforms that were even taller than the platforms I linked in the topics chat. And they were like red, and they were cool. So
I'm
I thought people only wore them around the house. That
yeah,
was it.
yeah.
apparently,
Crocs,
it's a
I
fashion
wore them the
trend
whole
now.
trip, bro. The whole holiday I wore them.
My thought was
With
always,
your lights.
if you see someone out in public wearing Crocs, they've given up on life. You know, that was it. It's just so they're in their
feel like-
sweatpants and away they go.
Do you guys all remember when Crocs first became a thing and everyone was sort of wearing them or wearing the off-brand came-up ones? And then they kind of faded off, but they've come back. They've come back because they amped up their marketing and Jibbitz happened. So that's why they're back and now they're becoming like a fashion item.
They
It's 100%
came back
what
with
it is.
force.
Okay, Crocs, if
Yeah.
you're listening, we need what, 4 pairs? 4 pairs of
4
Crocs.
pairs.
I'll be sponsored by
I'm a
I need
10.5 to
They can
11.
sponsor me. I'll wear
I
them.
will, I'll sell out for Crocs. Sure, why not?
Okay, so before Balenciaga was
Seize up,
shit, they
baby.
did a collab with Crocs and they did a bright pink pair of platforms. So
Bullshit. What?
with the Balenciaga curated Jibbitz. So I'm gonna put them in the topics channel. And you can, we can, and I'll also, you know what? I'll also send it to the people in the chat as well, so that any
So,
of the live
okay.
can do it.
So an average pair of Crocs set you back, what, 30, 40 bucks, right? Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Nah, bro, nah, way more.
and it's like plastic
way.
and rubber or resin or something, right? They just,
It's rubbery resin.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they probably cost them like $3 to make out of a sweat strop somewhere in fucking China.
Probably even cheaper.
And we're buying it. So then they just like pair up with some fucking, Gucci brand, and away you go, sell them for $100, make $98 profit per fucking. That's big brain. Why don't we think of that? I mean, they just okay. Fuck.
Bro, I
Man.
went into what's it called? City Beach, and they have rainbow tie-dyed Crocs for $100.
Wow. Yeah, no,
No
I
cracker.
was shopping at Platypus Shoes the other day. I needed to buy some white shoes, and Crocs kept coming up as something they sell, and they were like $70.
Yep, they're not cheap.
Not cheap.
When did this? I don't know. Holy
You
shit! I
might
just
have
saw the platforms on those fucking. This like 8 inches on those bad boys.
Yeah, the Balenciaga.
They
And they
look like
came with all the
moon boots.
Jibbitz, the Balenciaga Jibbitz as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. All right. Well, I've learnt a lot about something I didn't want to learn about at all. Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. The Crocs are becoming appealing for me. Yeah, I don't know. I always just thought they were the dorkiest things I've ever seen when they first came
Well,
out.
it is
I'm
my
not gonna lie, they
birthday
are comfy.
tomorrow.
They're
Yeah.
comfy. It's my birthday tomorrow. Yeah. Well, if you're seeing this not live, then it's my birthday, which is great. I love birthdays; they're the best. I've never had a bad birthday in my whole life.
Happy
literally-
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. My
Thank you.
man.
Happy
63 tomorrow. God damn.
Yeah, fuck off.
You're the same age as my grandmother, bro.
Fuck off. She's single? No.
Excuse me, you are not.
Ooh, drummers.
No, I'm turning 36. I don't know. I don't know if that's old or not anymore because everyone.
That's not old, bro.
You talk to so many people, they're like, yeah, house, 3 kids.
Yeah, I know a lot of 36
I think there was a fucking 32-year-old or something on TikTok the other day who had like fucking grandchildren. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Am I meant to have done any of this shit by now? Because I am not much.
Bro, just do you.
I haven't progressed much further than when I was 18.
We just got a cat. That's
I had a cat when I was 18.
It's like a child. Yeah, it's a child. Same.
Same. No, it's
Dog.
yeah, no, it's been a running joke for my entire life. Unfortunately, my life is a joke. No, it's a running joke even before I was obviously dating Shelby, that my birthdays are always shit, and like just they get
I'm glad there was a confirmation, a timeline there that it's not my
Oh
fault.
yeah, like there's like coworkers that I barely talk to, and the one thing we do say is normally like a week after my birthday, like, okay, so what happened on your birthday? I'm like, this is what happened. It was fucking terrible. I'm like, well, guess it just keeps continuing the pattern. But yeah, it's been pretty hectic couple birthdays. Last year was just kind of a write off. COVID was also kind of a write off, straight up. Year before that, we had I had like work was like super stressful. Had like a stock take and all this shit, and it all went horrible. And boss was fucking like at me the whole time. And then wanted to go home and wanted to stream for my birthday, and it was awful. And fucking had tech issues and stuff like that. Then I had a panic attack and had to be taken to the hospital. And that was my birthday the year before. The year before that, I got all these gifts from my partner at the time. She's like, "Oh, I really paid attention, and these are the things you kept talking about." I'm like, "Yeah, these are the things that I was telling you how much I hate." Oh.
Dylan.
I'm like, thank you.
Now I'm feeling nervous about the gifts I have to give to her.
I think the year
I'll take
before
mine.
that, I got an IOU. So,
Oh my god.
yeah, they're just shit. Birthdays are shit.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's sort of what it is. I don't remember. I'm trying to like think of like the best. The only time that I used to have good birthdays was I used to go to Big Day Out on my birthday, like when it was still a thing in Melbourne. So it was like fucking, you just go out, get on the piss for an entire day, go out, fucking get sunburnt, see bands, get fucking wipe yourself out, and then be done. That used to be my birthday, and then I stopped doing Big Day Out because insurance killed it. I think was the end of the day.
No,
But
Yeah, they were mad big day outs.
Don't they do it in Sydney?
not Big Day Out. Nah.
What am
They
I
stopped
thinking
doing
of?
it.
I think it's Field Day I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Field Day's still a thing. Yeah.
Field Day's hectic.
But yeah, no, Big Day Out was
Yeah,
fucking
like-
sick. I mean, I saw so many bands, and like it was just like a fucking awakening of the live music and just craziness,
Yeah, it's
craziness, man. I think the absolute like I don't want to go on about Big Day Out because it makes me sound like a boomer because half the people don't know anything about Big Day Out because they're youngins. But I remember, never forget the best Big Day Out. I went with a heap of mates, and we're going, and the headliner was Tool, and all the people that came to see Tool didn't give a shit about anything else that was on that entire day. So they all rocked up at 10 a.m., went straight to the bar, and they just sat at the bar drinking until Tool came out about 9:30 p.m. And at 9:30 p.m., I remember the bar was at the top of the hill and the stage was at the bottom of the hill. And like they just took down the fences of the bar, and it was like a zombie apocalypse of all these drunk Tool fans just pushing up towards the front of the stage.
Oh, that would look funny.
And I was like, nope, I'm not getting in that. No way. I stood right at the back, but fucking hell. Tool was amazing. It was just a like next level experience of just craziness. To be in that sort of mosh pit as well was craziness. But yeah, it's like the Triple J Hottest 100 was yesterday. Congrats to Flume who took out the top honors.
Who won? Okay, yes.
Flume, yeah. And it's fine. Like I kind of get it. Like I don't mind the music, but there was a really good take that I saw on Twitter where someone's like, back in my day, Triple J's Hottest 100 was 50% Spiderbait, and the other 50% was Powderfinger. It's like yeah, I get it now. And now it's 50% of the Hottest 100 is TikTok songs. Made famous and made popular by TikTok trends.
TikTok. Yes.
And if you don't listen to TikTok, you're going, who the fuck is all these people?
Who is this guy?
What was it? There was a band that I'm not even that familiar with. It took out like 3 spots in the top 10. It was
That was Spacey Jane.
yeah, Spacey Jane, which
Who's
I've
Never.
never known by name, but then I listened to a few tracks and stuff after they obviously took out some honors. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I recognize these songs.
So they had Sitting Up at number 6. They had It's Been a Long Day at number 5 and Hard Light at number 3. So they really cleaned up.
They cleaned up.
That's in the top 10. 3 in the top 10. It's fucking wild. They either have like the most enthusiastic like community of fans that vote for them crazily, or I don't know what happened there. But the Russians hacked the system or something. It's fixed.
Fucking Russia.
And look, I think the good thing about TikTok is it does allow smaller artists to get discovered through trends if they can manage to get something trending. So I know it's like not the norm of how these things used to happen, but I think it's interesting.
I definitely have listened to some tracks and met, like, just found artists now through TikTok, where you just scroll through it and you get in that algorithm where you just start seeing, like, particularly like DJs and stuff like that, like doing mixes and remixes and stuff like that. You see it on TikTok and you just go, damn, that's good. And then next thing you know, you see more and more and you go, fucking hell, this is, it's good shit.
Yeah.
But
I like Peach PRC, who I found on TikTok, and she got number 16 and number 47, I think. On
But
the
we're gonna start putting our Moses on.
Yeah.
Our
I was
fucking
smart-
music
Our
on
Moses on?
TikTok,
Yeah,
Moses.
yeah. No,
I said everything wrong.
Well,
Fuck.
this is a conversation I've had with not you guys, obviously, but like other musos. Is like TikTok is powerful. Like if you get on TikTok,
It is.
you can just get that algorithm to work for you.
Doesn't matter what you want to do. Like you got restaurants, like it's
Yep.
blowing up restaurants as well.
Yeah, I mean, we talked
Blowing
about
up restaurants.
none of that phrasing.
That's what I heard. Blowing up. I'll see you in Silverwater.
Like we
Park
talked about.
that one.
We talked about old mate who was the food guy. Fuck, I've forgotten his name now.
Keith?
Sorry.
Keith?
Yeah, Keith, right? Like I saw a TikTok that was posted up where someone's like, "Hey, did you know that this guy, food's not his business. He just did this because he's got anxiety and he wants to like conquer it. So he made these TikToks.
He was a hungry boy with anxiety.
He's a hungry MMA fighter who is
Holy
a professional fighter, and his brother is like active at the moment doing some pretty big fights and shit. I'm like, what? And then like they show footage of it. It's him. It's definitely him. Like he's
it
fucking.
is.
He kicks ass.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Keith Lee, I think it is. Off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Hold on,
No,
he's talking about
sorry.
Keith Lee, big boy Keith Lee.
No.
No.
It's big.
No, he's not big. But
Different Keith.
Can't-
But so he was a MMA fighter whose brother's a fighter as well, and he was like he's got social anxiety. He doesn't like. And he thought, oh fuck, I'm just gonna make some TikToks and stuff like that, and get used to talking to the camera and all that kind of stuff, reviewing food, and then that's just blown up like crazy levels, and everyone's like, wow, it's this food review. He's actually a fucking no. That's definitely not
That's
him.
Keith-
not him.
that's Keith
That's
Lee.
definitely not
Okay.
him.
That's a
Okay, that's
unit.
Keith
That
Lee.
is.
That's the Keith Lee I know.
But yeah, it's just it's crazy to think anything it goes up on TikTok is just stupid powerful, and just the discoverability and the algorithm and stuff like that. Like I was talking to, I forget who I was talking to, but I was like asking what they need to be on. I'm like, TikTok, for all its faults, it's got the scariest and most powerful algorithm I've ever seen. To the point where like, people just say stuff in your vicinity and it rocks up in your For You feed, and you're like, what the fuck? I didn't mention this.
Creepy.
Definitely listening to our conversations for sure.
Definitely.
Fucking China.
But yeah, it's I think the whole thing with like Triple J's Hottest 100, whatever. I think it's just it's a reflection. But having said that, like I used to really get into Triple J and Hottest 100 pre like Spotify and stuff like that, because it's where you discover a lot of, particularly like Australian alt bands and rock bands and stuff like that. Like they wouldn't get any commercial play because they're not popular enough. So you'd hear them on Triple J, and then they'll end up in the Hottest 100, and that's a good like temperature gauge for all that sort of stuff. Where now it's Triple J's almost become, I don't want to say mainstream because I know that's what people sort of are yelling, but mainly because they got upset because Beyonce makes it in there a couple times. And
Is the Triple J in Melbourne different to the Triple J in Sydney?
no,
The
one
same
Triple J.
station,
All
same
same.
host.
Yeah.
It's all the
J,
same.
same everywhere. So, but yeah, it's I suppose I don't really mind because I don't want to say with it, but I understand new music and stuff like that. Like I try to keep up with the trends or whatever. But it also means that we've lost that indie alt rock, garage rock, is homegrown sort of stuff now. Unless they catch up with technology, they sort of get ignored in a way. So it's not sort of old school. But having said that, I mean, Spotify, if you use Spotify correctly and use it as a main sort of thing, it pumps out lists with a lot of unknown artists. They go, hey, you like this person? Well, these people sound very similar, and they can do that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. The only other thing I wanted to mention is Hilltop Hoods made it into the top 100. Mind you, I think they were 60 something or whatever. However, that does mark the most amount any artist has been in triple 100s, like Triple J's Hottest 100 ever. So Hilltop Hoods, they got a better batting average than anyone else at this point, which is
Hell
great
yeah.
because they deserve it. They're fucking hardworking.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, like, there's not a single album that they've put out where I've gone, oh, that was a stinker. You know, there's always one or two bangers in there. If not, the whole album's just fucking a banger. So good on them to the fucking Hilltop Hoods for sure.
Jeez, I grew up with the Hilltop Woods.
I think we all did. I mean,
No, like, I grew up with them, like, personally.
You know him personally.
You know a guy.
Yeah.
You know a guy that knows
know
a
a
guy.
guy, yeah.
Cousin, brother,
I mean-
uncle.
Well, I've got photos with them.
M Phasers, bro. M Phasers. It's my
Oh,
G.
Yeah.
I was there when M Phasers produced Bad Guy for Eminem.
I have no idea what you're
Go
talking
search it up if you don't believe me.
He's
M
a
Phasers
producer.
I
produced
believe
Bad
you.
Guy
Producer.
for Eminem, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I was there. I saw
believe a
him
guy
right
who
Get
there.
him on the phone right now.
Yeah, don't
I'm
put
fucking
pressure on
10
it.
years 10 years ago, bro. 10 years ago, brother.
Mate, you just reminded me of those awful TikToks I hear. It's like, who's the most famous person in your phone? Quick, call them up. You know, it's like, fuck off.
I'm calling a Lottie.
I'm calling Pez. I'm going to FaceTime him.
Shit. What else do we want?
Actually, you know what? I got a question for all of you, for everyone here.
All right.
Who is the most famous person in your contact list?
Eladi.
I'm not famous. What do you mean?
No, that's not the question. The most famous, like the
Oh.
One
person
sticky
who's, like,
fingers from Onyx.
Hey.
Sticky Fingers?
Yeah,
From who?
from Onyx.
What's Onyx?
They're a rap group.
Ah.
I'm not
You know
proud
Sticky
of
Fingers?
Are we talking phone contacts though, or like we go Discord contacts? Because that's like
Phone contacts.
Discord
contacts.
Who you got?
That-
Brad
I
Pitt
got-
in Discord? What do
I
you got?
Fucking posty Discord, everything.
I just got some like Twitch partners in
That's
my
fun.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
No. Contact list on your iPhone or Samsung.
Oh, we're just Eladi then.
Yeah. I'm not proud of mine, though. Most famous
Just Scott
person,
Cam.
it's Scott Cam, yeah.
Fuck.
Mind you, we fired him recently. He's not he's not
Yeah.
an ambassador for Mitre 10 anymore. So I probably shouldn't call him.
That'd be awkward.
I remember before we had Scotty, we had this other guy who was like, it's just like a normal actor, whatever. I didn't know who he was, but he filmed ads and stuff when we worked with him. And turns out we had this PR crisis, air quotes, because he got casted as the villain on Neighbours. And then everyone's like, oh no, the villain is your spokesperson. People are going to think that you guys are an evil organization. I'm like, no one pays that much fucking care to this fucking show or whatever, surely. But because of that, they sacked him. They said,
Not Paul. Was it like Paul from Neighbours?
I don't fucking know. I don't watch
He was
Neighbours.
like a big villain guy, and everyone was like harping on about him for ages. And he's who was he played by? Stefan Dennis.
I don't know. Put a picture in the fucking thing. I'll have a look. I'll tell you. Anyway, the way the story goes, because we fired him and whatever, and then Scotty came in. Blah blah blah. Fast forward. My roommate at the time was working for Shakespeare in the Park, and I had no plans for New Year's Eve. And he's like, "Come see Shakespeare in the Park. It's right near the river. We get to see the fireworks and shit at midnight. It'd be great." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, why not?" He's like, "We'll hook you up some drinks and whatever. Seems good." And so went and did all that, and then fucking lo and behold, he's one of the actors in the show, and he's playing like the Capulet's dad or something like that in the fucking it's like Romeo and Juliet. And I said to him, I know that guy. We worked with him on this thing. He goes, oh, that guy? He's gonna get fired because he just gets fucking. He's always either stoned or drunk, and he turns up late all the time. I'm like, oh shit! And I'm like, I was sitting there like this. I fucking hope you don't see me there. He's gonna get fired
I
twice.
can't catch a break. Poor bloke.
No, that wasn't him. No, that's a different
Oh,
different
okay.
guy. But yeah, it was funny. Fucking weird, to be honest.
Did he see you?
Nah. Oh, look, he did. He didn't recognize me. Fine. I wasn't in my uniform,
I'm
so
not
it was good.
surprised.
But it's just like, fuck, I'm like, I just can't escape this guy. It's fucking wild. But yeah, no, Scott Cam's my most famous person in my contact. Would I ever call him? No. I was only ever to like call him for work shit when I was working with him. That was it.
Yo, give me his number. I want to call him.
You want to call him?
Yeah, hello, who's this? Just run the mic. The fucking light on top of me stopped working, bro. I'm spewing.
Well,
Ask
at
him
least you got a
about
light
power
on your
tools.
Crocs.
If you
so-
give Scotty a call, he can come out and fix that light for you, but
What a fucking sick cunt. Scotty, a mad lad.
yeah, it was a. We went last night. We went to a comedy show at the Comics Club here in Melbourne. If you don't know what the Comics Club is, it's a fucking awesome venue. You should go check it out.
Queensland.
They just basically have
Great.
they have comedy shows pretty much every night. Sometimes you heard of them, sometimes you don't. Whatever. But I got a bit nervous last night when they brought up the fact that the comedian was cracking jokes about how he'd be good on the block. I'm like, oh God. Let's not talk about the block, shall we?
Having
Yeah.
flashbacks.
You were nervous about being in like the front row anyway. You were like, oh, I hope they don't call on me.
There was a guy that was literally next
That's
to
full
us.
heckler zone.
Exactly. Thank you, team. Shelby doesn't know that's a thing. Shelby doesn't go to
Yeah,
comedy
that's
shows.
I've been to 3
Full
now.
heckler
You've
zone.
been to 3 now, but yeah, Shelby's like, I just want to be up front and center. It's great.
I'm okay with being heckled.
I'm like, no,
fine.
it's not.
I
No
heckle
one wants to
myself
be
every
front and
day.
center. There's a guy next to us who looked like he was straight out of prison with fucking bald head with like face tattoos and stuff like that. And he's like, nope, can't be up the front. Nope. No, it's nope.
After the dinner, they got changed tables and went all the way to the back.
Yeah, he was off to the side and shit like that. But then, like, I've been many comedy shows. So I do enjoy myself good comedy. It's always the person that I take with me starts up a conversation with the comedian and thinks it's fine. It's like, no, it's not fine. You're inviting heckling and references. So
They asked the question. put my hand up.
Shelby gives him a full-on conversation. It's basically the
asked
whole
for it.
room had to wait for Shelby to finish her story.
It
That's a
took me
very,
like,
very Shelby thing to do.
No. He asked for like stories of people who had a weird experience in an Uber, and my hand went up. He goes, "Your hand went up really fast. You got to tell me what your story is."
Because it
And
went
I
up
told him
really
the-
fast.
Yeah, I told him the story, and you know, and then the next comedian comes out and refers to the same story as well. And
Oh, hang on. Let's stop, back up. First of
What?
all, it wasn't a short story.
it
Like,
was short.
it was a story that you had to tell. He asked for more information. You continued the conversation. Where normally people yell out like 3 words or whatever. Shelby's telling this whole story about this creepy fucking Uber driver. And then, Shelby, you want to tell the story? Do you want to tell? Because my comment was,
Yeah, tell the story.
what a great story. Why don't you tell stories like that on the
I'm pretty
podcast?
sure I have talked about it on the podcast.
Let's go,
before.
Shelby.
I'm pretty sure I have,
Let's hear
but
it.
you know, if anyone hasn't heard it, but basically, it was just after I moved back to my small country town, and you know, they had very limited amount of Uber drivers back then. So I called an Uber from the train station to take me home, and it was a guy who kept harping on about how he was new to the area and was like wondering what the dating life around here was like, and then was started to go like, "Are you single? Are we going to your house right now? Do you live around there?" And then it just being very weird. Mind you, he's also blasting music way louder than a normal person should blast, let alone an Uber driver. So I could barely hear him, but everything that I did hear, I did not like. And then, and I was trying to listen because then I could, you know when I need to open the car door and jump out just in case, because Uber drivers and the horror of being a woman, I guess. And it gets to a point where at the end he goes, "Oh, if I drive through the McDonald's drive-through, will you pay for a coffee for me?" This absolute creep has asked me to buy him coffee at the end.
What?
Yeah. Not only that, because it gets worse, and this part I didn't get to say at the comedy night.
Because it's not a short story. You'd have this whole
not.
conversation. Anyway, continue.
Because it's a small town and not many people obviously were Uber drivers in the area. Multiple times afterwards, I was calling Ubers and he would come up and take my ride. I would cancel it, call a new Uber, and he would try and take my ride again. To a point where I had to actually contact Uber support and tell them to stop putting me in contact with this creep because I want a different Uber driver. I know they exist in the area. Maybe there's not many of them, but I would rather them tell me there's no rides than to connect me with that guy again. And yeah, so they had to block. I don't know if he got like suspended from Uber in the end, but they had to block out my account from me, his account from being able to see mine. Yeah, because he's a full-on
So,
creep.
so Shelby
Really
tells
weird.
this story to the room. There'd be a couple hundred people there, right?
Yeah.
At least. And the comedian just goes, "Well, my story's not that fucked up."
That is scary. That's scary as fuck.
And then
Then
when the next comedian comes out, just walks straight up to the front of the stage and looks in the front, points towards Shelby, goes, "You're Shelby, right?" And goes, "Do you want a coffee?"
Oh my god.
Yeah. What a suspect.
Part of the show.
Part of the show, front and center. And
She was in on it. She never told you.
maybe.
I have other weird Uber stories, but that was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, it's I went to a comedy festival once with it was my housemate who he lived in Perth, but then he moved. Obviously, he was living with me at the time, and we went to. It was Claire Hooper was the comedian that we saw, who I fucking adore, and she was talking about some shenanigans that happened in Perth, and then he just yelled out of the crowd, "He's like, I know that spot." And she's like, "Oh, it's this spot." He goes, "Yeah, I know that." And then they just had this full-on conversation about some unique bus stop in the middle of Perth somewhere. And then she's like, "Oh, we should catch up after the show," or something like that. After like 10 minutes of talking, I'm just sitting there with my head going, we hijacked the whole fucking show. It was like in the middle of the comedy festival. There's all these people who had fucking paid money to see her just having this chat and whatever. And they ended up catching up after
Pretty
the show.
good jokes.
Oh, it's fucking...
Yeah, I'm having a conversation.
Yeah, but there's like I think the best one was fuck, I can't remember. I went and saw Dave Hughes, and there was someone else in there as well. Anyway, they fucking... It was at the town hall, so it was a big venue, and I was up the front, and I'm like in front, and almost center, and I'm like, fuck, I've fucked up. I got the wrong tickets here. They're gonna fucking heckle me for sure. Because they like first thing they did, walked up to the front row, and I was starting to size people up. Anyway, the guy was like 2 from me. Was just like, it looked like he come straight from the gym. Anyway, he comes in, he cracked one joke. He said, he said he has a creatine or something like that to him. And the bloke just goes, "Move on." He's like, "What, mate? Can't take a joke?" And then that was it. It was just, for the rest of the show, he just pinpointed that that's bloke the entire time. And he wasn't having anything to do with it. He was just kept on saying, he goes, "Oh, funny joke, mate, move on." Like, he just kept on, like, he was not laughing, nothing. He didn't want to be there. And the comedian just ate it up, just ate it for fucking dinner. And they just kept on going.
Why did I even go to a comedy show then?
Yeah.
I know. Do you know what? The comedian kept asking. He's like, "Why are you here, bro? You want to?" You know?
Yeah, with like somebody else who wanted to go was laughing.
And I think the best bit, it was like towards the end of it, he was heckling him again, right? He's going into him, he's going, "Mate," he's like, "I haven't seen you crack a smile, you enjoy yourself, blah, blah, blah." It's just, the bloke was just like deadpan. Because what's it, like a Tinder date? You thought you have to follow through, might get some action later, whatever. And the guy was like, he just like basically said, "Shut up" to him, right? And he goes, "All right, sorry, grind a date then." And that was it. The guy got up, and then as soon as he got up, the other guy's like, "Wait, no, it's fine, man. Just, it's just a joke." I'm like, oh man, can you imagine? It's like, what did they say last night? They said, when the MC came out, he's like, "Oh, don't worry, front row. Between fucking COVID and Will Smith, we're more scared of you than you are of us now."
That's a good one.
It's fucking, yeah, it's not wrong.
I'm cool with being in the front row and being heckled. I don't mind.
I don't.
No, I don't want cunts talking to me.
You just don't know. You don't know what the fucking jokes are going to be. They're either going to be, they could be fucking,
Shelby's just prepared.
Shelby's right, ready for it.
She's got the stories backed up in the
I
bank.
make jokes about myself all the time. I can take them.
You would be a comedian. You want to go open mic night? Get up there.
I could probably be a comedian. I think I could do it.
Probably be up there. I know. I've told the story about how I had a really terrible work colleague who said that he could. I used to always make a joke because he used to tell the worst jokes. He was just fucking awful at everything. Just an awful person, actually. But I used to say ironically to him, "Mate, you should be a comedian." And then I remember I was locking up one day, and I just said, he told me something. Like, he said something like, he finishes every day. He goes, "Oh, I'll see you in the funny pages." And then I'd just sit there and go, "Fucking mate, you should be a comedian." He goes, "Oh, I was a comedian. I did it." I'm like, "Oh yeah? What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, I did open mic night." I'm like, "Interesting. Tell me more, please, in great detail." And he goes, it was the same comedy venue, right? And he goes to me, "Oh, I went there, I did open night, MC like warmed up the crowd, and I came out and I like started my joke and stuff like that, and no one was laughing." And they're like,
Fuck, that must suck.
and then he's like,
That would suck.
he like did like 3 more jokes or something like that, and then he said that the MC came out, like patted me on the shoulder and said to get off the stage, and then the MC finished my 30-minute slot by making jokes about me, and the crowd loved it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can see that. Shelby, you want to talk about some shit towns of Australia?
Town power rankings of the 29th of the first 23. It got posted
Brand
like,
new.
like this morning. Like as I was looking at it, it was posted 5 minutes before, which is great. So I want to go through this list, which is, if you're not familiar with Shit Towns of Australia, it's a social media page where they post all the news headlines from the crappiest
Towns.
towns around Australia and
Yeah.
ranks them.
Go on
So,
then. What have we got?
Number 10, Port Pirie, South Australia.
Still shit. Yeah, I knew that one.
Apparently, the reason for that as well is because they have like lead in the water. I don't know. That's what somebody in the comments said, so I don't trust the comment section. Whatever.
No, comment section, the scientists.
I just saw Port Pirie shit.
Yeah. So going in hot at number 9, Toowoomba, Queensland. Sicko swipes sex shops, the biggest display dildo.
Okay, all right. They built different in Toowoomba.
No comments.
Literally. All right. So number 8, Townsville. Cops investigate multiple reports of beach wankers.
Sorry,
Yeah, the fucking beach wanks.
one more time. Beach wanks.
Beach wankers.
Yeah.
What is a beach wanker?
Somebody
Yeah,
wanking
what
on a
is-
beach.
Wank on the beach.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. That's all it says.
Why do you say multiple? Like the same person multiple times, or like there's a gang?
No,
of
it's
them?
There's a
multiple
group.
people.
There's a group of them
There's a group beach wank going on.
sitting
guys.
around the bonfire.
That's it. They all hit each other. Each one's got one hand on the other. Fucking
That's it. Everyone
Alright.
literally right.
I found an article about it, which I'm sad that what I had to Google find it.
Well done. You have beach wanker in your search history forever.
No, I wrote Townsville
Google's on the case.
masturbating on a beach because I had to be professional.
That's
to get the article
no way
right.
better.
In the bushes, cops on patrol after lewd beach behavior. Oh no. Anyway, the articles are behind paywalls on everyone they click on, so we're never gonna know anymore. We're just gonna leave it at beach wankers.
Yeah, you have to have Pornhub Premium.
Men's has that.
Next on the list, number 7, Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. Disgruntled client sets fire to real estate office, then smokes ciggy while waiting for the cops to arrest him.
That sounds exactly like my dad.
Don't blame me, Mel. See the way fucking rentals are at the moment.
That sounds hectic. What a guy.
At least he waited.
That's approved. We let him do that.
Yeah, that's all fine. 6 is Byron Bay, New South Wales. Naked trespassers skinny dip in a stranger's pool before trashing property.
Fucking sick.
You know, up to trashing property, I would have thought that was pretty normal for Byron Bay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
Number 5, Launceston, Tasmania. Woman tries to stab boyfriend with car keys during a driving lesson. So he's
know
trying
what?
to teach her how to drive, and she's going for the stabby stab.
It's funny you say that because I seen someone that I know personally, a good friend of mine, get stabbed by his girlfriend while he was hanging out of the window by her khakis.
Why did she do it? What was her
How?
motivation?
What? Yeah.
Because he was trying to get her to not drive away, so she just stabbed him in the back like multiple times with her khakis.
Yikes.
Well, I'm got more and more appreciation for those keyless cars now. You know, I think that's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Save your ass and your back.
They still come
This-
with keys.
Oh, but they're not sharp. They're flat keys that go like
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where's my keys?
Can't
If I
stab
had
you
my
with them.
keys here-
Stab-proof
Yeah.
keys.
So
It'll be a
how
house
to
key.
fucking pull it out?
Definitely a house key now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, get out, you fucking dog. Yeah, keep talking.
Oh, okay. I was just waiting for
Man's
the demo.
opening his keys for the first time ever.
Do you do that every time you get to your car?
Oh, teeth. Ah,
Don't hurt your teeth.
ah,
Did you break a tooth?
nah.
What are you doing?
Oh, I got it. Look. See, it's flat.
All that for that. We saw the flat key.
Thanks for the demo. Yeah, I have one of those on my keyring. I don't know what it's for.
Fuck, so all that for nothing.
Yeah. All that for nothing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
pretty much.
next town.
Number 4, Cairns, Queensland. Gronk sprays shit all over partner's house.
What a guy.
What a gronk.
What a guy.
No extra
What a
info.
grunk.
What a grub.
Perth, West Australia. Sand gropers celebrate Australia Day with riots and mass brawls. A Gronk who received 24k in donations after mugging in Bali reveals he actually fell off his scooter while riding shit-faced at 4 a.m. He did not get mugged.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. He just fell off. He just fell off his fucking bike, and he told everyone he got mugged because he was so embarrassed, and they started going for GoFundMe for him.
That's hectic. I'm gonna fall off my chair and start GoFundMe and say that $10.
Yeah, you've definitely. Yeah, no comment.
Number 2, Alice Springs. Machete-wielding 13-year-old arrested in Woolies. Town cracks top 20 in global crime list. New grog restrictions announced for all residents.
That is a whole conversation.
that.
That is
I saw
fucked.
I saw that.
That's
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
oh man. Anyway, let's not delve into that. If you're
I think a
interested,
13-year-old
yeah.
with the machete in Woolies is where I have.
Well, the thing is, right? It's a very long time since you've seen in the news crime spree being used quite freely, but that is what they're dealing with at the moment is an actual crime spree, which is fucks. So yeah, and I think kid with a machete is
Evidence of
only
that.
part of that. It's
Yeah.
a big problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, need to get those
Number 1.
Spiderman up there.
Yeah.
Get that fucking nuclear shit up there. Wipe them out. Let them stand next to it 5 minutes.
Anyway,
Number 1 for Cressy, Tasmania. Depraved Tasmaniacs use live trout as vibrator and fuck on a grave. This is terrible.
I don't know what
And
to
it,
say. It's-
I'm surprised you guys didn't hear about this because I did see
I'm
news
surprised that
articles.
you heard about this.
I saw it. I saw people talking about it on TikTok, being like, "Oh my god, this thing has happened." Obviously, no footage shared on TikTok because it's terrible.
There's
But
footage.
there is footage being circulated. That's how everyone knows about it.
That's it.
And like the like official people have had to come out and be like, if you have that video on your phone and stuff, you need to delete it because that's like animal abuse, first of all, and like illegal. But yeah, it's a whole thing. So basically, these people who are very what's the word when somebody is not definitely not vanilla, but
Horny?
not
Kinky.
kinky's like the wrong
They're,
word.
they're modded.
Fucked up.
Built
Yeah,
different.
these
Modded up.
couple
They're
are
modded.
pretty fucked up. They're modern. They have they frequently do other things. So after this fish video came out, where the fish is being used as a thing, more info
As
came
a
out about
toy?
them doing things like they go and they have sex on people's graves and stuff like that, and like they
Is
broadcast
it a
those
sex
as well.
cult?
No, it's just a couple. It's just the same two
It's
people every time.
two people.
In a sex
And-
cauldron.
They can't get enough. They need to include fishes and graves.
And probably other things too, but that's the two that people are talking about. Apparently, they're just like well known in like fucked up
Does she say?
sex community.
I mean,
don't
we
know.
knew
the life
Tasmania's
out of me.
kind of fucked up, but this is
Yeah, it's pretty.
This is the
awful.
new breed.
Tasmania doesn't exist. Like,
Yeah,
I
so I
mean-
wasn't surprised to see that on the top of the shit towns of Australia list.
shit. Yeah. Oh fuck. I don't even understand. Like I don't want to say I can't picture that, but I can't picture that. You know, it seems.
Yeah. So they're
Yeah,
currently at
yeah.
the center of a police investigation, and the RSPCA have been putting out statements about it.
This is wild. I have not heard any of this at all in any way.
crazy.
Nothing with
Well,
any.
now because Google is always listening, so it's going to show.
Yeah,
up on
this
your
is it.
own
This is
Probably
it.
It's gonna pop up on my TikTok now.
I just
Yeah.
I got a notification pop up on my phone. I thought, oh shit. And, no, it's right. It's fine.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But that's shit towns of Australia. So that's that.
That's
Tasmania with number 1.
holy shit. That is an.
And it was in there for Tasmania was also in there for Launceston with the stabby boyfriend with car keys thing.
oh yeah, old mate.
A lot of the times they escape the list, but not this time.
Oh, yeah, I always forget.
Oh,
Sort of
you
Tassie's they're a very creative bunch down there. This is probably the nicest way to put it.
Yeah,
They think differently. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
built
A
different.
secluded little island.
Yeah, and we're discussing this the other day. I can't remember who was talking with, but I've never because I had to go work in Tasmania for a week. They sent me off for work, and I've
Oh, you poor
never
thing.
ever experienced being called mainlander the most. Like, oh, mainlander.
Mainlander.
Yeah, it's like a fucking derogative term almost. It's just like, oh, mainlanders here, you know, you fucking mainlander over here. Go see the mainlander. It's like, what the fuck are you calling me? It's like, I'm like, I guess it makes sense, but still, what the fuck? Guess it's yeah. But anyway, I actually enjoyed myself in Tasmania. It was fun, but didn't go near any trout. I don't know.
Trout.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking.
Calling someone a mainlander has very like I don't know if you've ever seen like a post-apocalyptic movie like I don't know Divergent or like Hunger Games or something where they have like weird
Yep.
names for people from different areas.
Yeah.
It just feels like the name you would give to like a group of people from somewhere else, but like
Yeah.
being I don't know really like
But that's what it was, though. That's exactly what it was.
post-apocalyptic. Like they think the whole outside world is so weird. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
it
strange.
is. You're locals or you're mainlanders.
Weird.
That's what I mean. It is weird to me. Like that wasn't like out of all the things. If people tell you that fucking everyone in Tasmania sleeps with their sisters. They got 2 heads. It's fucking freezing. Like I was fully expected all that. I did not expect to be called mainlander every second
You
time.
expected
No, it's
people with
West
two heads?
Virginia.
What?
It's West Virginia.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I wanted to there's something that I just popped in my head. I wanted to discuss. This is I don't know the best way to frame this, but anyway, there was this guy. For those who don't know, when I finished high school and had a job but lost it immediately, and couldn't find any work in my shithole town, that I'm sure has been on shit towns of Australia many times. So I couldn't find any work, and I didn't want to be a bum because bums go nowhere. And so I volunteered at a youth organization as a mentor. I was their film guy. There's a whole story there, but anyway, there was this kid that worked there who was not worked there, like came there. It was a what do they call them? Kids that need help, underprivileged.
Kids that need
Degenerate.
help.
What have you? Did you say
Rat
degenerate?
boys.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. It was a joke.
No, they're just like
Underprivileged.
underprivileged. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Anyway, he was a nice enough kid, just a bit weird in a lot of aspects. He made a short film that I starred in. So if anyone ever finds that, good luck to you.
Oh, is that why I saw you in the porno?
Not a porno. It was like I think it was like a zombie film or something. I can't even remember the plot. I just read
Is
the
that where
lines.
zombies love bacon come from?
No. But I remember that when we were shooting that movie, we shot it in the office, which was right in the middle of that town. And I just got cranking with the smoke. I had a smoke machine. I'm like, this would be fucking set the atmosphere. We'll just fill the fucking place with smoke. It'd be great. Anyway, someone called the fire brigade. So the end of the movie just ends with the fire brigade turning up, and we're like, no, it's fake. And anyway, for a couple years and stuff, I worked there. I didn't work there because I didn't get paid, but I volunteered there and helped this kid out and all that. So it was fine. It's just kind of annoying. Fast forward like 2 years, I'd moved to Melbourne and whatever else, and I was doing my groceries, and I ran into the same kid. And it turns out he was a trolley boy now for the supermarket that I go to get my groceries with. It's like, fuck me, small world, right? I'm like, oh yeah, good to see you, mate. We'll probably see you around, whatever. Anyway, he did what I feel like is just like, it's breaking the social norms, right? The things you shouldn't do. He came with me to do the groceries. Like, he just came with me into the
Just
supermarket.
hung out with you?
Just hung out while I was
Followed
trying to
you
do
around?
my groceries. Yeah, just stranger kid, haven't seen for years, barely knew the guy. It was just like, oh, come hang out while you do your groceries. It was the fucking worst. And I hate it. And not only
He
that,
probably had a great time.
I guess. I mean, he was there fucking all the time. Anyway, he was there every time I tried to do the groceries. I'll fucking come in the morning, he's there. Come at night, he's there. And every time he'd come to do the groceries with me. For like 6 months, I did the groceries with this complete fucking stranger kid. Walking around, following me around in the fucking
Wait,
supermarket.
it took you 6 months to switch to Coles over Woolies?
There wasn't even a Coles near me. But yes, absolutely, I did consider that. Yeah, I considered driving
I
much
would.
further.
I don't like shopping with people a lot of the time. I can tolerate a latte. But he does walk very fast, like
Yeah,
extremely
okay, but
fast,
imagine like just like some random person that you went to school with once, right? Sees you at the supermarket, then decides to follow you around while you're doing your groceries.
like I've kind of had that happen with my mum's friends and things like that. She's had through the years, and like there were some who would just get way too chatty at the supermarket, and before you know it, they're walking through the supermarket together and
I hate it.
following us
Stop it.
around to talk.
Fuck off!
Yeah.
It's absolutely fuck off. It's it's. I mean,
I'm nice though. I'm a very nice person. So
well, in the end, I had to tell him to fuck off.
That's mean.
I just said to him, hey mate, I'm trying to chop here. You can give us some space. And I think he took that as fuck off and die because he just disappeared and never saw him ever again. So,
What a guy.
I just
He was
I
probably
kind of,
waiting for you every day.
I
like,
think
"Oh,
he
hope he comes. This
was.
is
Like,
groceries
I
today."
even parked in different areas of the car park and tried to get away from
You're
him.
slack, bro. All man's wanted to do was hang out with you, and you told him to go and die.
how dare you?
Think about what you've done there. Think
The
about it.
highlight of this boy's life, and look what you
Think
got.
about it.
He was not having a good life.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things as well. Is just like I've come to notice as I've gotten older is like all the people who would stop and talk in a supermarket and they block the aisles and they get in the way because they're just not
Oh, fuck
shopping. They're
off.
just standing there talking now.
I hate them people.
Especially today, Coles was bloody packed and
Yep.
it was awful. And it
Yep.
was like 6 groups of people just standing around having their Sunday morning chat. And I'm like, go away! I want to buy cheesecake ingredients.
Yep, fuck off. Anyone who walks slow can fuck off. Anyone who walks like 4 people
Is that
wide,
why you run? Like you
Then fuck
walk so
off.
fast, you're basically running, and I have to waddle to catch up with you. Is that
Yes.
That's what's happening?
he's got to set the pace for everyone.
Coles shopping.
Got to set the pace. And then you,
Especially if you go there all the time, you know where everything is. So
Yes.
you're just like,
I don't. I'm
out.
forgetful.
and there's that, and then there's people that like would have a trolley, and then they'll put it on the right side of the fucking lane, and then they'll stand in the left side. It's like, Where are you? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing? What are you getting? Get out of the
I'd
fucking
say
way.
that's me.
Then there's the ones who have like kids, and the kids are like just like running around totally oblivious to anyone around
Running
them.
wild.
Yeah.
It's like fucking. I'm gonna deck a kid in a second. All right, it's just fucking. I'm done. I can't stand it.
Drop kick him into the next.
Can't stand
aisle.
people that are standing in the middle of the like on their phone and they're just oblivious that they're in the middle of like standing things. It's like even if Shelby's like a little bit slow and I'm spatially aware that someone's coming up at pace behind her, I'll like shuffle her across. I'm like, okay, give way to the fast pedestrians, please. We've got to keep this moving.
I have good spatial awareness. You just disagree.
So
with my
you
spatial
okay? Hang on a second. You nearly pushed me through a fucking window because you were looking at a dog, going, "Can I get that for you?" or whatever. And you just fucking walked me into a wall, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's like I saw a dog.
Stuck in my head. That's different. That's walking on the street.
That's
If I'm at the
spatial awareness that
supermarket-
you forgot that I existed.
If I'm at the supermarket, I can do it just fine. But if I have to worry about you as well and where you're going and what you're doing, I can worry about myself. I don't. My spatial awareness includes me because I'm a problem.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's fucking. I can't stand it. I can't stand all that slow walkers and stuff like that. I visually, in my mind, I'm strangling them and murdering them.
We
in
get
my-
into calls, he starts speed running. That's just.
I know where to go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm in. Yeah, let's go.
You even do it
Oh.
at Kmart, and Kmart is there for
Same
slow
thing.
browsing.
Been there many times. Know where everything is. Gotta go. It's just-
Enjoy yourself a little bit.
what do you mean? I'm not enjoying myself. I'm at fucking Kmart on the weekend. There's fucking children
Kmart
there.
always sets that trap. Is like you go buy one thing and you end up walking out with 50 things
Exactly.
Fuck
Yeah.
that.
because
Yeah,
of slow
breaking
browsing.
Here's the thing, right? I don't go to Kmart unless I know that I want something from Kmart. And if I know I
I
want something
go
from
there
Kmart,
now.
I know where it is in Kmart.
Well,
And
I know. I go there and I know that I want something from Kmart. I just don't know what it is yet. So
I also want to just bring up that someone pointed out to me the other day, if you looked up Kmart influencers, it came up with ZLB podcast because I think we named one of our episodes the Kmart influencers.
our search engine optimization. Any woman who's going, I would like to be a Kmart influencer. Let's find out, and they'll Google it, and then they'll be directed to our podcast where we're basically ragging
Yeah,
on
and
them.
I don't want to recover over that whole episode, but those swanky Kmart influencer parties, you can absolutely invite us to that. I will walk slow at that event, right?
Kmart, sponsor us.
Yeah, sponsor us.
Yeah.
Sponsor us, boys.
Not that there's anything I want from Kmart right now, but you know.
Mm.
I want everything from Kmart.
But yeah, I wanted to bring up a topic, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up, it's a particular game. We should talk about games. We do a lot of gaming here. It's a particular game that when I saw it last year, I pictured the way it was kind of pitched to me was it's like kind of like The Forest, but it's more set like The Division, big open world MMO. You go looting, post-apocalyptic. You fight zombies and other players, get gear, stuff like that, and it looked sick. Cool little trailer for it. About fucking 10 people sent it to me, said we should have a night of it.
Mhm.
Awesome. They announced that it's coming out March the 1st. I even put it in my trusty calendar here. I wrote the day before on PC, must play. It looks very fucking sick. And then it disappeared.
What?
Gone. Disappeared. Now, there's a few stories, a few narratives, if you like. And I'll get to the best one at the end. But this is the official statement was when they announced the game, everything was cool. It's called the day before. And the trademark was available. They didn't trademark it, though. It was just available.
Why wouldn't they just?
Because immediately after they announced it, someone else trademarked it. And now they don't have the trademark for it anymore.
Now they have to rename
So
it.
Steam just removed it and said, no, you
Oh,
don't get this game anymore. And they're like, well, someone stole our name, so we can't launch this game yet. That's the official answer. The popular theory is this game never existed
why? What? Wait, hang on. Why would that be?
because
Why would that be an option?
no one's seen the game at all.
There's no
Yeah.
footage. There's no trailers.
It's a trailer, sure, but it's a trailer. It looks like The Division, really. It's like a generated trailer.
There's not a gameplay trailer. Well, no,
No gameplay.
I just there's
Nothing.
an exclusive official gameplay trailer.
That's just the trailer.
It's 13 minutes long.
Just the trailer. That's it. So then this theory came out, and then obviously Reddit does what Reddit does, and they start putting everything together, and they're like, well, has anyone seen the game? And then the mods for their official Discord are like, there's meant to be a gameplay release coming out in the next couple of days. They'll show a full gameplay breakdown, blah, blah, blah. They cancelled that. Didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when they asked the mods and stuff, like if they've seen any gameplay, they haven't even seen it running. This is the game comes out next month, apparently, by the way.
Yeah, this is the first I've actually heard about it. So there's like no marketing.
The
or anything.
most wishlist game on Steam.
Then how
Number
did
It
one.
is.
It's
How
number
did I
one.
not know about this?
You would absolutely. I've definitely told you about this as well. You just
I don't
might
listen.
not listen. That's fine. But yeah, it was straight up there. Like, this is perfect for us. This is like 7 Days to Die kind of game. You know, we're all getting into a world together. We'll go fucking grind out some loot and stuff like that. It looks really good.
Mhm.
But it's gone. Like, it's gone. It's disappeared. It's vanished. Yeah.
That's really weird. Surely it'll come out like under a different name now. They're just gonna.
I don't think it
sort themselves.
exists. I think this is a company that created like if you look at, because people are like, why would it not exist? Why would this not exist? What's the end game here? This is the company that managed to drum up enough investment and money to keep themselves employed for the last couple of years. They don't have to
Right.
make a game. They're being paid. Like they
Yeah, but if they have investments, then they have investors that they have like agreements with investors to meet, right?
not always how it works.
Hmm.
And maybe now they can just say, "Oh, look, sorry, it's beyond our control. Someone else trademarked it."
That's strange.
It's
That is
bizarre.
strange.
It's so bizarre. But it's also like the thing that gets me is it's disappeared, and the information we've got is so sketchy. But it is the most wishlist game on Steam.
I mean, are these real wish lists now? Or like,
I mean, you can't make enough bots to be fucking the most, like number one. You could probably bot your way in the top 100, but not number one. It doesn't exist.
so it's developed by Fantastic, FNTASTIC. So they're going to the video game page on their website. So they have The Day Before, one of the most anticipated games in the world, and then they also have Prop Night, the top selling game on Steam. Is Prop Night the top selling game? I assume it is. If
Prop
they
Night's brand
said
new.
it.
That's the new one. It's like Dead by Daylight for
That's
Poppy
right.
Playtime kind of style.
Yeah, so that's apparent, and it has mixed reviews.
Yeah, so straight up, just type in The Day Before in top news articles from 2 days ago. The day before, developer denies scam allegations following the delay.
Interesting.
Yeah. The day before, devs say delay was planned before trademark dispute.
You know what this means? In about a year's time, there's going to be some guy who will break down this entire thing
this
into a
is-
1 hour long video essay on YouTube, and I'm going to binge it.
Someone's doing a deep
I was going to
dive
say,
on it,
scrolling down,
definitely.
there's already plenty of deep dives on this.
Good. I'm gonna look at some because
There's
I like
like
a good
straight up,
binge.
the day before keeps getting worse. The day before exclusive fucked up, buddy. What the fuck is the day before gaming news? Someone's like, it's like, I mean, it could be a publicity stunt. I mean, to me, it smells like it's one of those, you know, when people do that, like they just buy all the assets, jam them together, whack it on Steam. Like
They don't look like purchased assets though.
no, they don't. But I'm saying the developer smells like those kind of guys. You know, they're not actually there fucking working with a big team of people putting all this shit together. It feels like they're just buying assets and jamming them together and chuck them up on Steam. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just fucking wild to me. And yeah, I don't know. It's like it feels like a scam. There's many games. The thing is, right? It could be legit. Because there's 2 other games that just have the same stench of like, oh, what the fuck is going on? It seems like a scam. Sons of the Forest is one of them, where for the longest
yeah.
time we just hear nothing. And now we're a couple of weeks out from it dropping, and they're like, oh, here's some gameplay. We flew out some influencers to play it, stuff like that. It's working. It works. And I'm just like, okay, great. It is a game. You just have a really shit marketing team. It's like the hype for this from Forest fans is huge. Just get the marketing team to talk to your fucking Forest fans and start hyping this game up, because what's going on? That's one. The other one is Arc 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. Arc 2.
Not only that, there's an Arc TV show coming as well. I know
keep forgetting
that
about that.
I feel like it's every fucking episode of the podcast I come up, it's like, hey, by the way, there's a TV show for this fucking video game. I just want to remind everyone they finished filming the Borderlands movie in 2020. Just want to say, still haven't seen anything.
A Fallout movie, you know, got a few things
Fallout
coming.
TV show.
Fallout TV show. Look, I just
Arc 2 is meant to be a story based starring Vin Diesel.
out of interest about this, like this the day before. So I went and looked at the publisher. So the publisher has a few games under their belt, which is just it's the day before and Prop Night plus a bunch of mobile games. So it's not.
Yes, they're a
not
mobile
great.
dev.
Yeah, so then going into Fantastic's LinkedIn page, they have 23 people listed, but say they're completely remote, and a few of the people have open to work in their profile picture. So they're looking for current work. They're based
Not
in
good.
Singapore. It's run by volunteers from across the world, which
Oh,
is
that
really
was the
weird.
other thing. That was the other thing about this fucking developer. They asked people that after got fucking massively wish list, they said, "Hey, does anyone want to come work on this game?" And then when people are like, "What do we get paid?" They're like, "Oh, volunteer. You wouldn't get paid."
Yeah, it's fully remote. So that's why these people are like open to work,
They
but they
they
have it as a
wanted
credit.
people to work for free on this game.
So there's people from mostly their staff is from Kazakhstan. So there's 10 of them from Kazakhstan.
Very nice.
3 from Belarus, sorry, 2 from Russia and 2 from Turkey, and the rest are from Singapore, I think, and around there. So it's interesting, yeah, when they're asking for volunteers for what is supposed to be a hotly anticipated game, it doesn't bode well. So I'm going to be interested to see some YouTube deep dives, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it again once we have more info.
100%. Oh, we're not seeing it this
Yeah.
year. The day before is not coming this year. No fucking way. Not with this press. They need to get far away from this schmozzle. But there's so many red flags. I don't understand how they're still so hotly anticipated for that game. There's just so many red flags on it.
We can hope that it comes out and it's a
But
banger of
there's
game.
no
and
way
we're
it's a
playing
banger
it.
of a game. There's no way. There's
no
too
way.
many red flags sticking out of this thing to be a banger of the game.
Already.
Yeah, and look, I just saw the gameplay trailer, and it's quite limited. They basically have a car that drives up to a petrol station. There's some like minor zombie fighting. He goes inside, he gets some loot, so there's some inventory UI.
But that's
and they're,
like you can
fighting
whip
people.
that up in Unreal Engine 5 and just do a
Yeah, it
scripted
doesn't
event.
really say anything about like the scale of the world or
No.
anything because it gives you a very limited area. Obviously driving is one mechanic, but like most games,
It's
do have
like,
driving.
So if you put the day before up on the stand and say, "Prove you're real," they can't do that. They can't prove they're
My
real.
mum knows I'm real. That's it.
Did you just did you say?
No, I just said like it'll just be like a weak response. It'll be like, my
You
mum
just
knows
said
I'm real. What?
What's wrong with you?
So many things.
I just wanted to step back because Ark's a great one because if people who know Ark have played Ark thousands of hours.
Hmm.
Ark was like they got in super hot water. Well, not super hot water. They just had really bad press around the fact that they were still in early access, never finished the game, but they were bringing out paid DLC. So you buy the game on early access, and then they bring out DLC, but the game's still in early access. So it's like, why don't you finish the game before you bring DLC out? Anyway, they brought out like 7 DLC packs or something like that, and never really finished the game, so it was fine. And then they're like, well, we've got the proof of concept. Let's make Ark 2, which they announced in 2020 with Vin Diesel. Stars Vin Diesel. It's got a full story, and it looks. The trailer is very polished. Looks a lot like the day before. We've heard nothing since. Said it would come out in 2022. There wasn't even an announcement to say it's delayed or anything. It just never came. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's just fucking gone. It's kind of weird. A lot of people like pick on Vin Diesel for being Vin Diesel, but the man is actually super passionate about video games and stuff like
He
that.
has a lot of integrity. I know what he does.
Yeah, and like there was always a story that was going around that he went and he did the Chronicles of Riddick because he wanted to pay for other shit that he wanted to get off the ground. He couldn't make any money. They kept asking him to do Riddick, and he wanted to do all these other things like video games and stuff. So he went and did Riddick, got paid so he could pay for his other projects. That's it. That's why Chronicles of Riddick, he phoned it in literally. It's pretty average, but yeah, it's whatever. But I think I'm going to do a breakdown on the amount of games turned to TV, turned to movies and stuff like that. I know that those of us watching The Last of Us,
So good. I'm excited.
It
still
is
good.
so good.
Still good, right? It's like yeah, they got to fuck this up eventually, right? The only thing that really made me uncomfortable was that kiss.
I think it was definitely there to make people feel more uncomfortable about the virus
It
and how
was-
they've changed out
it was
Oh yeah.
it was
like
uncomfortable.
she's there like unable to fight away from.
Oh, hang
this
on, no
other-
spoilers. Just calm down. Just
And
calm down.
it's just like basically in a no spoiler way, like the infection is finding a faster way to get her fully infected.
In a non-spoilerish way, they don't do spores anymore. They don't poof, they don't blow fucking vape in your face
Do
and then you
mushroom
become
vape.
one of them anymore. They got rid of that. And I can understand why. From a filmmaker's perspective and trying to make it lore-based, not video game-based, that's hard to do. To say, hey, they could breathe it in at any time. It's like, well, fuck, how do we show that on TV? And, they also big things that they've changed. Obviously, you don't gun down 300 enemies as you walk into a building anymore, because it wouldn't be a very good TV show. You just watch mass murdering because he wants to save one life or whatever. So they make it a lot more grounded, and instead of the spores, they have the way it was described to me was like it's kind of like Avatar. If you've seen Avatar, the whole thing where everything's kind of connected, like all the tentacle, the fungi are all connected, so you can set off like an area of the infected people. Anyway,
The tendrils go for miles.
the thing that really got me was when the infected kissed someone, big French kiss, but instead of tongue, it was tendrils, and that was just really gross.
That was gross.
Disgusting.
Renewed for a second season, also now.
Yay! We get to see Abby's
Yes.
arms in live action. I love Abby.
I want Abby. I know
Abby.
so
I love
many
buff
people.
women.
So many people are like, I fucking hate The Last of Us Part 2, what they do. We're not going to spoil anything for anyone, don't worry. But Abby, who is basically Abby, the face of Abby, because Abby is a beast as a video game, but the face of Abby is actually a streamer who streams this currently. You can go watch her stream and stuff like that. And she plays Last of Us and other games, obviously. Totally lovely person. Abby, the character, the fucking force to be reckoned with. And I think like just an amazingly well-written character in that game.
Goes through a lot of development,
And like I think a lot of people played say they played the first third of the game or whatever, and then they made their judgment and walked away. Where that game, fucking, it's a start, middle, and an end. And if you only play one part of that, it's not the full experience. Because the end in particular is the gut punch that you just don't really see coming. And it's like, and I can't wait till they do that in TV form. And like one of the things that Neil Druckmann said, because that was the other thing, is Neil Druckmann directed this episode. So this is his TV direction debut. He said that like he's brought in this other guy, the guy who did Chernobyl and everything else. Like, why wouldn't I bring in this guy who's a fucking legend and let him, tell some of the story and tell it in his way, because he knows what he's doing. There's a reason why we brought him on. It's not my show, it's our show. And that's where all these little changes and stuff have come from. And I feel like when we get to that heavy hitting shit that they put in number 2, which, people go, it's woke or it's PC or whatever, and they're trying to make a statement, whatever you want to say about it, it's emotional and it's impactful. And then they're going to bring in this bloke who fucking knows what he's doing and changing things in such a grounded way, and he's going to ground this shit, and it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be hectic. And I think it's going to be great. I think the danger, and I think people are starting to catch on to this danger as well, is we're not getting a Last of Us Part 3 in the next 2, 3, 4 years. It's not happening. We might get a Last of Us Season 3, though. And it's going to be like Game of Thrones, where the TV show finished before the book, and it's going to be that weird argument again, where they're going to be like, yo, the book, the TV show's ruining the game, or the game's not the same, or whatever. And it's going to be a weird space, because people are starting to ask, where's their Part 3 game? And they're like, well, we have a process, because they're working on, I think they said they're working on like 4 or 5 projects at the moment, 3 of which have not even been like their new IPs or whatever.
And they've completely canned the working on anything more Uncharted related, so they're focusing more on the.
Oh, they're doing. Well, they're not doing. I don't think they're doing, but there is a Uncharted multiplayer. Oh, sorry, not Uncharted's gone. Yeah, they're done with Uncharted. Sorry, they're doing Last of Us multiplayer standalone. Will be the next thing that we see. So, which I'm totally for, because I don't know. There's not a lot of people who are old school PlayStation fans, but when Uncharted came out on PS3, the multiplayer in that was fucking awesome. It was brutal. You literally, like, it. You imagine how you beat infected with brick and whatever. It's literally just PvP, beating in each other with bricks and planks and shit like that. And the amount of times you go to peek out a window, and this guy will just grab you, pull you through the window, and beat you up with a plank, and then start interrogating to where your mate is, and then you'll see him running up in the background with a plank over his head and start beating him as well. It was so fun. If they can make that, even if they make it like a battle pass free to play thing for PlayStation, I'd be all over that shit. I'd just be fucking. It'd be so fun. And like, I'm so sick of like our multiplayer offerings at the moment. It's so bland. Like, Call of Duty's Call of Duty. Like, they haven't reinvented the wheel there. I don't think they're ever going to, until like the player numbers drop. But I think Warzone's doing as good as it ever has.
Yeah.
Overwatch.
That sounds so generic.
It is. It's so generic. Overwatch 1.1 is going great. I mean, 2, 3, whatever it is. I don't fucking know. Overwatch is people that were playing Overwatch are playing Overwatch again, but nothing's changed. Valorant's more fucking a dating simulator than it is actually Valorant these days. CK people are raging as they ever have, and fucking League of Legends is League of Legends, and that's it. Like everything's the same or the normal, and nothing's changed. I think like PUBG is still the same. Nothing's really happened there. I think you got more colourful. That's about it. Fortnite, I think they've got Kid Leroy's in there now. That's the latest thing. That's it's like,
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like I don't know. It's just I feel like there's not much multiplayer. I haven't felt the urge to get into anything like multiplayer and grind away at some levels and stuff like that for a long time. I think the last thing was New World, and there's no New World content for a little while, so I'm kind of fine sitting stagnant on that until they drop something of importance. Yeah, I don't know. And then you look at the stuff that's coming. There's not really anything coming either. Nothing big.
Yeah, all of my like anticipated games is single player, so I haven't really gotten anything with a multiplayer that's on its way that's grabbed me in a while.
Nothing massive anyway. Like even Battlefield, that's kind of just dead now. That's done. Halo's, people have been saying the multiplayer in Halo's improved and good, and they got Forge and stuff now. But Arc 2 would be perfect for Arc 2. Or day before, it'd be great for those games to come out right now. That'd be good. It's it's perfect timing, but there's not much. And then here's a scary thought for a lot of people. There's an article came out, I think it was Bloomberg that dropped it, saying, "Hey, the development cycle on a AAA game, like a big game, so like a God of War, whatever, is blown out so far that if they're working on or thinking of starting on a new one now, it's for the next generation of consoles. It's for PS6." Or whatever the fuck Xbox wants to fuck us over
already.
Yeah, so we're in a really, I think we're in an unheard of, unknown state for video games in general, where the Switch Pro is dead. They did some, I mean, this is all hearsay because they won't say shit because it's Nintendo, but they did some prototypes and shit like that, and they tested whatever, and then just basically ruled it out and said it's not worth it. So that's dead. We'll see a new Nintendo Switch. I reckon we'll probably get an announcement or a teaser at the end of this year. If not teaser, we'll get leaks at the very least this year.
Yeah.
And then it'll probably drop Christmas next year for a new Nintendo. I don't think we'll get, I don't think it'll match a PS5 or Xbox Series X. I don't think they'll bother matching that kind of power. It'll probably Steam Deck level kind of power, maybe. Like a 3080, I guess.
It'd be interesting.
Which we'll see. Apparently, the PS5 is getting discontinued, superseded. They're just too hard to make and meet demand, so they're going to bring out one new system that's going to replace the existing system with a PS5. This is the highly rumored.
PS5 Pro?
No Pro. Just PS5. PS5 is going. Oh,
PS5.2.
Current PS5 disappear. New PS5 appear. That's it. They're going to do away with the disk drives PS5s. They're going to have a straight up normal system that has an external disk drive that you can buy as a separate unit. And that's it. So then they can have one single supply chain. They can make more. They can meet demand and actually get more systems out.
Okay, interesting idea.
I hate it.
Yeah, I don't really like the external disk drive, and I feel like that's going to stop people from collecting physical media as much, which I always oppose to. I think physical media needs to be collected. Yeah,
so there's two things to be said, right? Because I am a physical media guy. And I am the guy when everyone abandons their system, when the new PlayStation comes out and everyone throws all their PS4 games out for $2 each, I'm the guy who eats their trash, all right? I love physical media. I'll grab it all. I did it when the 64 was dying out. I did it with the GameCube. I did it with the PS3. I have fucking tons of these games, and it's great because they work. And as anyone who knows get old, like me, if you go, fuck, I really want to play this old game, it's not as easy because the old game is being optimized for Windows 12 when you were playing it on Windows 98. It's not, they don't work like that. So it's a lot harder. Having said that, emulation is getting better, but that's a separate topic. So I'm on board with digital games if they're cheaper. Like if you don't get a physical copy or a physical disc or anything like that, fine, but it should be cheaper. But the problem I'm seeing is it's the same price or more to buy digital games than physical, and that's just fucked. Honestly, it's fucked. And I know why, and it's because the digital stores take a cut and the publishers don't necessarily want to give that cut. Steam take a 30% cut, and that's why recently Shelby discovered that Forspoken, which is an average game, Square didn't want to give their 30% to Steam, so they just put 30% on top of the retail, and you get a $120 game. That's average and maybe worth $50, but it's like, But then, like, it's killing that game where I could go get it from JB Hi-Fi and it'd be $79 on the day because JB Hi-Fi cut the guts out of it because they expect you to buy 5 other things while you walk in the store. I don't, but they do expect you to, so they can blah blah blah. That's all fine. All right, park that all to one side. The future is not physical media as much as I love physical media. The future is Game Pass and subscription services. Because Game Pass, most of the time I'm like, oh, I'm not playing anything this month, so I won't pay for Game Pass. And I'll get it next month or whatever. But it's $10 and I keep finding games to play on Game Pass. So I've basically, at this point, I've been subscribed for like 6 months straight. And honestly, I can't complain about it. It's fucking, there's banger games on there all the time that I keep finding myself playing or recommending to other people to play, and they play it with their Game Pass as well. And I don't have to have an Xbox because it's on PC most of the time. Most of the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
so
cool to
good.
also
It's
just be
so
able to
good.
tell people who are like getting a gaming PC or something for the first time, being like, get Xbox Game Pass, tons of games on there to get you started,
Yep.
or being able to recommend a game, just be like, it's on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you're a kid and doesn't want a PC, like a basic budget gaming PC is $1,000. All right, like that is basic entry level i5, 1080, 2060, whatever in there. $1,000 or $300 Xbox Series S, Game Pass, done, easy.
Yeah.
And away you go. You have a kid that can play. You can fucking Skyrim's on there. Fucking, I don't think Assassin's Creed's on
Mowing
there.
Simulator is on there.
Mowing Simulator's on there. Like I was watching Jelly was playing High on Life the other night, and someone in chat said, "Oh, it's not a very big game. It's probably not worth $60 or whatever." And she's like, "I'm playing it on Game Pass."
It's free.
Um,
That's another thing is like it actually surprises me is how many people out there still don't know it exists. And when they hear Xbox Game Pass, they're like, I don't have an Xbox. Well, it's not for Xbox.
yeah, and then let's get to the next bit because this is where I'm starting to learn shit. All right,
Okay.
and as Victoria has pointed out, he's a very salty sailor at the moment. There is still some games that are only console based. So even if you have Game Pass, only available on console. And the one that really has triggered the internet, and it's 2 people, not just Victoria, but other people as well, but is that GoldenEye dropped. Fucking 1996's greatest selling game of all time, starring Pierce Brosnan, brought up to 4K for Xbox. Holy shit. It's like no longer are you playing it in 180p and trying to play 4-player split screen with each of you sharing 40p of screen. It's now 4K, amazing. Only on console, not on PC. However, any supported browser, you can go to xCloud, their cloud gaming thing, and you can play any game on their Game Pass, console or PC. Just plug a controller in, away you go. Done. No installation, no loading times, max settings. Just play it straight in your browser. And it works. I was playing GoldenEye the other night.
That's weird.
And it works. And then I was like, oh, this is fun. What other games I got? Halo, boot it up. Don't have to install it. No 70 gig download, nothing like that. Just boot it up, started playing it. Well, bored of this. Let's play Forza. No 100 gig download. Just played it straight away. They're going to integrate this shit into smart TVs. That is the future. Samsung's already doing it. All you need is an Xbox controller, connect it to your TV. You can play any Xbox game without a console. You don't need it anymore. You don't even need a computer anymore. Just buy a TV.
Cool.
Just buy a TV. Can you imagine if you said,
That's crazy.
I don't need this $800 Xbox Series X anymore. I just need this control pad. And Dad, you buy your 8K TV and we can share. Done. That is the future. That is the future.
Do you think the controllers will go up?
Well, it costs them fuck all to make controllers anyway. The only people that are ripping people off with the controllers is Sony's $500 PS5
much.
controller. Like you can get like PDP make wireless controllers for $200 max. That's it. It's like they're gonna mass produce controllers and they can just sell them at cheap, whatever. But you don't need a console anymore. You don't even need a decent computer because the computer doesn't do the computing. It's just all done on the internet with a browser. That's it. You can buy a fucking tiny little mini PC that opens up fucking Microsoft Edge and you can just play a game on it. Done. xCloud is a fucking amazing and not enough people know about it. And I've known about it for ages, but I've never used it because I've just looked at it and gone, surely the internet's not that good. My internet is that good now. And I think a lot of people's are getting there. Like it's the future.
There. Slowly.
It's wild. So the best take from this whole GoldenEye thing was, yes, I wanted it on PC anyway because I wanted to see what max settings I could pump out and make it look whatever. And I wanted to play it with mouse and keyboard, but that's not feasible because it's a console game. And I think there's actually a licensing thing there as well. That is the reason they can't do it on PC. But that's to the point, not to the point. The amount of people that commented on this GoldenEye thing going, okay, cool, do the better one now, do Perfect Dark. And Rareware replied to every one of those comments saying, we did that already. It's on console. It's Rare Replay. It's already there. You can play it. We did that years and years ago. And then just over and over again, they were just replying to all these comments going, we did that already. And a poor social media guy must have been like, what the fuck have we done to deserve this? Because it should fucking work. And it was wild. So I was playing Perfect Dark the other night on on xCloud. It's fucking sick. It's so good. But this is the future. That's the future of gaming. It's not going to be physical media. It's not going to be digital media that somehow costs more than physical media. It's going to be paying a subscription and getting all your shit there for that. That's going to be the future for gaming and stuff like that. And I think the Xbox Series X might be the last Xbox we see. That's how confident that I am. I think we're not going to get another Xbox ever.
Interesting take. We will see.
PlayStation's different. Because PlayStation are just built different. Nintendo is extra built different. Yeah. Nintendo's the special needs kid. It's no one quite knows what they're doing, but they make good art. You know. I don't know if that's a hot take for Nintendo, but it's just, I don't know. It's just so weird. The whole thing, but like I said, I think at the heart of it, I think we're in a transitional period that's never been seen with consoles. I think we're about to go through a very weird area, and I think from a PC's perspective, unless graphics cards become more affordable, I think PC gaming is gonna stagnate a little bit because at the end of the day, well, Spoken's a great example. All right, it's not a great game. It's not worth investing heavily into, but to get 60 frames or close to 60 frames, you need a 4080 minimum.
Don't get me started on PC hardware right now because I'm pissed.
Yeah, but my point is, you can get that with a PS5. A PS5 costs half of a 4080. That's the difference.
Here's the thing: is like right now, I would really like to be able to stream really good games while running my VTuber software. But because my VTuber software dares to take up 20% of my CPU, and my CPU is made out of hot piss garbage, even though it's expensive and it's still relatively current, it was bought in 2019.
You just got a dud.
I can't.
You got a lemon. You got the lemon of CPUs.
I got a lemon of a CPU. Everyone's like on Reddit being like, "Oh, this one has like bottlenecks and all sorts of weird shit." I'm like, "Well, I wish I knew that before I fucking sunk all my $5,000 on this computer in 2019. That feels like it was made 10 years ago, and I can't play games and be a VTuber at the same time. How am I meant to keep the Sims happy if I can't be a kawaii waifu lady?" Anyway, I'm feeling very strongly about this right now.
So what I'm hearing is we're going to have an OnlyFans feet finder very soon.
Give me money!
There's definitely ways to stream more efficiently, because I know
everyone's like, you know what? Get 2 computers. I can barely afford one.
Exactly, and that's my thing. Like, my computer's ancient, and the more I look at it, the more it gets scary. Particularly when I watch something like Linus, and they're like, "Wow, this computer's shit." They're naming all these parts that are much better than mine. I'm like, "Oh man, mine is getting old." But it's like I just know how to work with my baby. We work together. We have a good understanding where we can make things happen, make magic happen. But then sometimes she lets me down, and I just know that it's just because she's getting old, and it's fine. But
and eventually, you're gonna have to take her out to a paddock and shoot her.
Yeah, literally. And I think the thing is, great example is I love using green screen stuff, and it's cool, but it's a whole thing to set up and everything else, and it takes more computing power to chroma key, right? So I can just go, okay, well, that's fine. I'm just not going to do that, and I fiddle with lighting and cameras and stuff like that to get the best I can out of the least amount of power. You don't have an option of doing that because you have to run your stupid VTuber program that uses way too much fucking CPU for just a bloody program.
I have to be rendered, which is annoying. And I guess I know I picked my own voice, and
but
I've
also
chosen this
it's
life
not
of myself to be a cute ass fucking waifu bitch.
Okay,
but
it's not rendering using your GPU. It's rendering using your CPUs for some fucking reason, and that's
doing both. It does both, but yeah, it has load on the CPU too as well. And the reason now that I've switched away from webcam tracking altogether and I only track using my phone is because that is meant to take some of the CPU load away from the software.
You know what the sad thing is?
Phone.
The CPU.
It doesn't work.
Nah, the CPU on your phone's better than the one on your computer.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of pain in trying to be a VTuber. Whether you're fucking 3D or 2D, it doesn't matter. We all have the same fucking struggles. Because even the 2D ones who look like they're fucking drawn on a piece of paper and don't
Use
even,
that
can't
fuck
even
ton
turn,
because the
they
program
can't even
does.
turn their heads around. This poor computers are still struggling with the CPU. The only ones who have it good is the fucking PNG tubers out there. You fucking PNG tubers who are out there making bank, you don't have to worry about your CPUs. You're totally fine. But I'm struggling. It's stressed me out this week. I even went for a long walk all the way to Centrecom for them to tell me the exact same thing I'd already realized and was searching online, which was annoying because it was a very long walk. And then I spent $70 on DisplayPort cables because DisplayPort cables cost way too much fucking money, and I missed HDMI
You
prices.
spent how much on DisplayPort cables?
They were either $25 each on Amazon or $35 each in store. So
What about AliExpress, our friendly Amazon alternative?
Quality.
Look, that's hit or miss, but sometimes it's quality.
Anyway, just all in all, I think the games and software and everything that we need is surpassing hardware that we can afford too fast unless
Yes.
you're playing on a console. But if you want to be a content creator, you can't rely on a console for everything. Yes, you can stream straight to Twitch from your console. Yeah, if you want an ass stream with like no alerts, no cool shit, and it can't be a VTuber.
No, you can do that now.
Like a waifu.
You can do that. You can
You
do
can?
alerts. You can do alerts now.
But you can't be a.
You can't be a VTuber. No.
You can't be a waifu. That's the point. And so you have to have a computer, but my computer is made out
All
of
right,
ass,
hang
even though
on.
I only
Just
bought it in
fucking-
2019.
All right. First of all, you're just seconding what I said, which is unless the shit becomes
just
more
very
affordable, PC gaming is going to stagnate because the people aren't buying Forspoken if they're running a 1080. All right, they probably shouldn't buy it
I
anyway.
look at a picture of Forspoken and I feel like crying because I know my computer wants to.
But we have a PS5 that will do that, and this is my point: is that you can do more with your computer if you be smart about it. You play shit on your PlayStation and there's a Switch instead of PC.
I'm gonna be doing. I'm a conversion. You put me onto that, and I've got my Switch on my desk, and I played Jibbitz the other day, which was great because I didn't have any lag. Because the stream before, I streamed playing Little Misfortune, which is a side-scrolling 2D adventure where you click buttons occasionally, and my computer struggled.
Look, I'm mindful that we're pretty much out of time, but I just want to say that Jibbitz was announced by Xbox, and two things I want to say about Jibbitz. And when I saw it, I'm like, wow, look at this farming game about like mushroom-looking characters. Shelby would be right into this. This looks cool, and whatever else. It's not. It's about catching wild Jibbitz and making them dance battle. That was a shocker. I didn't know that
And
was
it
a
has
thing.
a whole lore about overthrowing the Jibbitz High Council. Anyway, go on.
That's it. That's fantastic. And straight up, and also talking about all this, Shelby opened a stream with like, oh, I'm playing this on Nintendo. I think it's coming to PC eventually. No, it's been out on PC for over a year now. It's just on the Epic's game store where games go to die.
To a point where I was the only person streaming in the Jibbitz category for a while there, and then one other person began streaming, so I raided her, and now we're friends.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Epic would still be around if it wasn't for Fortnite. Like, seriously, that's all they got.
Not only Fortnite,
is.
but obviously Unreal Engine is Epic.
Oh,
Games.
obviously, yeah.
So they have if you want to use Unreal Engine, use Epic Games launcher.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, the true reason why they go to Epic is because their cut that Epic takes is half of what Steam would take. So if you sell 100 games for $1, you get they take $15, where Steam would take 30. That's the difference. And so games like Forspoken would only be 15% higher than instead of 30%
Probably
higher.
be $100.
It'd be $100, but that's still too much for that game. But my point is that Steam sometimes just kill games by making their price excessive and crazy. And when you say this is a game that has a minimum specs requiring a 4080 and costs $120, no.
I can't have a 4080 and $120. Okay, it has to be one or the other.
And look,
I'm poor.
I
I don't even have either right now. I don't have $120 or a 4080.
and I don't know enough about what the fuck's going on because there's obviously multiple factors that come into pricing, like inflation and the prices that are set, like the MSRPs are usually set in USD, and then USD versus AUD is all fucked anyway.
Our money's crappy.
All that sort of shit. But then at the same time, someone they announced the new WW2K game, And I'm like, oh, this like it's such a meme factory to play these wrestling games. And I'm like, this could be fun. And then someone came in, they're like, yeah, it's not far away. It's got a whole John Cena arc to it. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that does sound kind of cool. And I went and looked it up. It was $150 for the base game of it. I'm like, why is it $150? And then I went and looked on Amazon, and it was still $130. I'm like, that's the cheap version? No, I'm not paying that much. It's like I maybe would have paid $60 for it, but fuck, I know licensing's out the window and crazy, but Jesus Christ, it's too much money. But it's got to be multiple factors. Like I said, I don't know enough about it, but pricing's fucked, and I'm not paying that much for it. Considering I brought Battlefield 1942 or whatever the newest one was, 25 something. I can't fucking know. It was a terribly rated game. Since I brought that for $3 off Amazon the other day, I'm not paying $150 for fucking WW. I would have made 1 or 2 meme matches, chucked them on YouTube, and that's it. It's not worth it. I'm not paying that much money for that fucking game. I don't know what's going on with that. Like and then there's like a special edition that's even more money. It comes with the battle pass and stuff like that. I mean, if you're into wrestling and that's all you're going to play, I guess that's not a big price to pay for the game that you're going to play for the next 12 months. But when you play a different game every week like I do, I'm not paying that much. Fucking hell. Put it on Game Pass. I'll play it. There you go. Solved. But anyway,
Vince is gone because
I know.
Ask if he'd pay that.
He wouldn't. No fucking way he would.
I don't know. He loves wrestling.
He wouldn't pay that much for it. Fucking, no one's paying that much for it. Surely,
no, no one is. No one.
I'm gonna keep an eye on it because I'm actually gonna. I want to talk about this more. I want to find out what the fuck's going on because like you see games like Call of Duty is a great example where yes, it costs more. They said it was going to cost more, and I think like the cheapest version was $70 or something. But it's the biggest game ever. $70 instead of $100 from EB Games or whatever digitally. It was $10 or whatever digitally. It just seems like it's going up. When they said that prices were going to go up $10 for the next gen games, and that's fine. They've stuck to that roughly. But now there's just this fucking gauge of it could be $50, could be $150. Who knows? Find out on the day. And I think that's not fucking good enough. It's just crazy. Anyway, we should definitely wrap things up. Shelby, you've got some side gigs for no reason. Try not to upgrade your computer or anything like that. Do you want to give us a bit of a...
If you too would like to be a kawaii waifu girl or boy or a cat boy or something, I can do that for you. Hit me up. I'm going to turn you into a VTuber baby, but I cannot promise that you will have good performance on your CPU. Sorry about that. That's optional. But if you would like that or would like to see my streams around, I think you can find me at Shell Bunny on Twitch, or you can find me at ShellBunny_ on Twitter, where I talk about a lot of all of my extra stuff.
Hell
and
yeah.
ShellBunny94 on TikTok if you want to see my shit posts.
Fucking oath.
Oh yeah.
Dame, what are you up to?
Still playing Metal Gear Solid.
Hell yeah.
Still having fun with that. Yeah, I've been streaming it on Twitch, so
Nice.
I don't know if you're not doing anything, come join.
Check it out.
Very nice.
Oh yeah.
Check it
I'm
out.
also looking for just to add on to mine. I'm sorry, but if anyone wants a sugar baby, but I
Oh
have
my
my own
God.
sugar baby, I gotta give the sugar down too as well. So
Yeah, I'm looking for a sugar mama.
exactly. So I got sugar mouths to feed. So
Yeah. I have like an 8-year-old CPU. I need a new computer. No, it's fun. Yeah, if you buy it, you should absolutely come check me out. I am streaming every single night, except for nights where I'm going to the movies. Then I'm going to the
every night.
So it's basically I'm streaming 6 nights a week and seeing a new movie every week. It's the season. Lots of anime movies and stuff coming out, so I'm going to check out other things. This week I am playing GoldenEye tomorrow. Oh, if you're listening to this not live, I will be playing today GoldenEye. Using the xCloud stuff, so we're going to be experiencing how that works live, and if that works well, there might be some other games on Game Pass that we'll check out. Also playing Deliver Us the Moon, which we've played before, which is a fucking awesome game, and then the sequel, Deliver Us Mars, which comes out later in the week. We're going to be playing that as well. So yeah, come hang out, and while we play those games, and I'm sure there'll be something that we'll be talking about next week on the ZLB podcast next Sunday at 6 p.m. like we always are. Apart from that, thanks for hanging out, everybody. And if you're listening to us, please, give us a review or like or whatever, and just so we know where you guys are listening, so we can make sure that you're getting the best possible experience. Tell your friends, because we're here making content as always. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll see you all next week, I guess. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace out.
See you later. Goodbye. I can take these glasses off. Oh, everything's blue now.